What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of FIREWIND's brand new live album, Still Raging. So I got my first FIREWIND album in 2008 when I was still in high school. It was The Premonition. I think it's probably their most well-known. I've been like a moderate fan ever since. I knew Gus G from the Guitar World magazine, and I was well aware of him when he became Ozzy's lead guitar player in 2009. He's always been an exceptionally exciting guitar player, which is kind of rare in the realm of power metal. Now, obviously, Luca Turilli of Rhapsody is a standout in that genre, but a lot of power metal solos are so shreddy to the point of being unmemorable. Gus G's solos are tasty. Even when he joined Ozzy, he managed to blend the two styles of taste and shred just as well as his predecessors. Go listen to Let Me Hear You Scream and tell me that solo isn't the best of both worlds. It's important to talk about this because Gus G is the main focal point of FIREWIND. There's just no other way to put it. The band sounds really good here. The drums and the guitar are very much in sync. They're probably playing to a click track, although I have no problem with this. The vocalist sounds really cool, reminding me of Zach Stevens at some point. But throughout the entire album, the main focus is Gus. And if that's your thing, you will probably like this. The guitar sounds really good for a live album. I think he does not use digital amplification, which would be the normal suspect here. So somehow they managed to make it sound very powerful, even though I think he's the only guitar player. More importantly, it's live, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So let's talk about the album. It's really nice to hear the song Head Up High again. I hadn't heard this one in a while. It translates well live. It's just uplifting. It's the kind of thing where it is a power metal song, but your audience can mostly sing along to it. The vocals sound really good. It's definitely live. It's not that touched up, if at all. I don't think this is auto-tuned. It's just really live, and it's good. I'm worried that some fans might misunderstand this and think it sounds bad or something. It definitely doesn't sound bad, but most live albums are touched up to this point of sounding perfect. Another song I want to call out is Orbitual Sunrise. This is a really great song without being too paint by numbers. It reminded me of Archon Angel, Zach Stevens' band. Like I said earlier, the vocalist does remind me of Zach, but this song, also the songwriting matches. Tell me if I'm nuts, please. Cool little thing about this album. When I saw that there was a drum solo, I started bracing because I don't usually like them, but this drum solo was actually fun to listen to. There's an unedited, I think off-the-cuff guitar solo from The Fire and the Fury. Maybe I just forget how this one goes in the studio. They left it in its entirety and it sounds great. A lot of this really makes you feel like you're there. Funny little thing, though, is that when you hear the crowd chanting FIREWIND, it makes me think they're saying Guardian, which is what fans say at Blind Guardian shows. A couple times I thought I was listening to that Tokyo Tales live album or something. Oh well, fun little coincidence. Two more that I want to talk about. Mercenary Man. So this one translates live really well. It's not often that songs with dynamic changes like this one can pull it off, because a lot of times people at a show want it to be like 110 miles an hour double bass all the time, but this one works. And lastly, Between Heaven and Hell, there's a guitar mistake in it around 1 minute and 10 seconds in, and it's really refreshing. Like I'm saying, this is live. I don't think it's overdubbed in the slightest. It's human. It's real. There's enough overproduced crap out there today. Give me something that's real. And for someone as insanely talented as Gus to make a mistake once in a 20-song set, makes me feel better. So when I see shows with friends who are not plugged into the music scene, I often point out to them that there's a 90% chance that the vocals they're listening to are augmented or straight up lip-synced, I hate to say it. This brought back some of my youthful, not naivete, but wonder about the world when I'm thinking this is what bands sound like. It doesn't have to be mimicry. If nothing else, just take it from this fan. Thank you for being genuine. Rock on, guys.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.